we have heard of saints in the past, but not very much close to our age, and it's so amazing to think of such things that even science cannot explain. The presence of God is real because only God can do miracles that humans cannot explain. Blessed Carlo Acutis is a saint in the 21st century, right now. Blessed Carlo was born to Italian parents on May 3, 1991 in England. It means if he had lived until now, he would have been 31 years old. 31-year-old people exist now, right? It wasn't that long ago, it's almost 2000, and our parents were born even before that. He was the first and only child of the family. His mom is Antonia Salzano and his dad is Andrea Acutis. Carlo was baptized a few days after his birth on May 18 in the Church of Our Lady of Lourdes. The church was dedicated to Our Lady of Fatima, which could have been a point in which Carlo was so devoted to Mary of Fatima in his life. His mom, Antonia, decides to make a cake in the shape of an angel for the baptism of Carlo to thank God for the gift of their son in their lives. Carlo was never left alone at home. There was always someone to look after and take care of him, his mom or a babysitter. As soon as Carlo was 4 years old, his parents decided to enroll their son in nursery school, and he attended with so much enthusiasm because, being the only child, he loved being surrounded by other friends of his age. Even in the very early years of his life, it was noticeable that he was peaceful, never reacting even if his peers beat him. Carlo was an active child. When his peers ask him to be violent, he responds by saying, "Jesus would not be happy if I reacted violently." The little saint, Carlo Acutis. The witness of a babysitter who knew Carlo. I remember that Carlo always used to be an angelic baby. He had massive faith in God and a massive amount of purity that was felt being close to him. His massive humility was always one of his virtues. He was generous with others. I remember when he was little, if he got beaten for any reason by violent children, he never reacted, and we got angry with him because we told him that he had to react and eliminate them, but there was no way to convince him. A neighbor testifies, Carlo was always kind and gentle to everyone. He used to greet anyone he met. He was a well-educated, well-mannered, and polite child. I have never seen him misbehaving or saying bad words, and I have seen him going to Mass every day. A nun at the gate of the school summarizes especially about him. I got to know him from elementary school, and as soon as I saw him, he seemed like a special child. Even Sister Angelina, who followed him closely, talked to me about the child with enthusiasm even in the following years. I remember him as a serene, calm, respectful, very lively, but obedient teenager. Carlo is a very open and helpful teenager who walked through his path. At this sign, it was significant that when he passed on his bicycle, he didn't forget to greet even the foreigners, and they were surprised by his lovability and his humility because it was marvelous that an Italian could remember them as no one did. He loved the company of his friends and was always surrounded by them. Even to us at the gate, he was polite. At the entrance and the exit of the school, he used to greet us respectfully and with a warm smile. His example could be helpful for many teenagers. As he did. A foreigner who knew Carlo testified, "I work as a caretaker in a building and I met Carlo Acutis, who often came to greet me, and I remember his sympathy, humility, and well-educated manners. He was a very religious boy who attended the Mass in the church and showed us no differences with his foreign friends, which made us feel something." His mother's name is Antonia Salzano, and here, he is probably pointing out his mother's surname. Another nun from his school remembers him with esteem. I met him in the first days of his elementary school. He was always well-behaved, respectful, diligent, and caring, even towards people he didn't know well, and his beautiful smile made everyone happy. Another neighbor reminisces, he was an exceptional child. He had all the qualities. Since he was little, I met him at the Mass every day. He was good, well-mannered, kind and generous. I was always impressed by his composure and self-control every time he received Jesus. He seemed like an angel. He used to greet me all the time. I still see those eyes and that smiling face. When I looked outside from the window, I used to see him playing with other children or taking the dogs for a walk. He never says bad words, never screams, and I have never seen him arguing with other children, even if they were bullying him. Another foreigner's witness, I worked at a property in Via Ariosto and I met Carlo Acutis, who came to greet me every morning and every evening. He often stopped to talk with me. He was a very pleasant, Very good, very simple child, and made me feel at home, even though I was from a different nationality. It seemed like he was older than his age because of his maturity. Carlo was very intelligent. I have seen him going to church during the week. The cook in his grandparents' house remembers, the same cook that the boy wanted to imitate. Carlo was certainly an extraordinary child because he was interested in my recipes and he saw that there was so much to learn. He used to do everything with passion, starting from the little things, like when he was cooking, he wanted to do it as well as he could because he wanted to be better at everything, like the cook in his grandparents' house in Torino. He was also a very respectful and well-behaved teenager, and I dare to say unique because I, who have worked in numerous houses, have known many people, including many teenagers, but I have never found a boy so sensitive like him, who, after lunch, always came to thank me for how well I had cooked.